Hello everyone and welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. Today we're going to be working with some free product that you can receive in the Celebration book. Celebration is going until August 31st of 2022. We are going to be using the Wonderful World stamps. Well, we're using the paper today. We are not stamping today. We're not die cutting. We are just going to be working with the paper. So we'll talk about that in a moment. I wanted to let you know that Celebration is going, like I said, till the 31st. There is additional items listed on my online store that are for free when you make a purchase. Like this one is $100 free with a $100 purchase. There is, I believe, 9 items. I could be wrong. Could be 10. 8, something like that. There is a wonderful die set. It's the die from the perched bird that you can get for $100 with a $100 purchase. So please visit my online store for more information on additional items you can receive for free during Celebration. We're going to be working on this project. I'm going to stutter a little bit this morning. It's too early. All the dimensions for the project we're going to be using are going to be listed below. My email address is listed below. The online store has a link below. Also, please subscribe and like, especially if you like. But subscribe is probably the most important to me in the YouTube world right now. I need to get my likes up so that it pushes the videos further for everybody to see. If you don't have enough of both of those, it works into some crazy formula, which I have not figured out yet. But also, once we get more subscribers, when we get over 100 subscribers, we can start doing some premieres. We can start trying to do some free giveaways. And a lot more stuff is opened up once you get over that subscriber mark. So if you could please help me, that would be great. Also, as I've said before, if you have something you'd like to see or learn how to do, or you just want to see how it's done again, please let me know. I've been stamping and doing paper crafting for over 40 years. And so if I don't know, I'm sure I have a friend or two that probably does. And so we'll get them to help us out as well. So anyhow, on with this beautiful paper. I know some of this is upside down. I only have sections left. This is actually my 3rd pack of paper. Yes, I have lots of this. I love this paper and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So we're going to be using this paper today. And let me show you what we're going to be making. Now, what I'm going to show you is the project. It is made with retired DSP, which I know that a lot of people hoard their DSP, because I know I do, especially my favorites, and especially the holiday stuff. But we are going to make some really large bags, and this is the bag we're going to make. This is the Peaceful Deer, I believe it was the Peaceful Deer DSP that we had last year, maybe the year before. Anyhow, the size of this bag is 8 inches by 7.5 by 3.5. It's a nice size bag. It's reinforced at the top. Now these bags, I did not put a second piece. I can't see down it. Put another piece here. But if you're going to put something heavy like a big bottle of perfume or a mug or something, you may want to take a piece or two of matching cardstock to lay in the bottom to help reinforce that. If it's lightweight, like, you know, little dainties or something, you wouldn't have to, or baby clothes or something. You wouldn't need to reinforce that, but if you are, you could do that. So this is the one I made out of this colored paper, and then I made, and the ribbon, this ribbon is also a retired ribbon. I do a lot of my mock-ups and stuff in retired product, just because it's, you know, more cost effective for me. And the next one I made was a snowflake one. And like I said, they're quite pretty, very functional. They're easy. They're pretty strong. The ribbon you choose is very important for this. Now this, if you look at this, Reba's going, where's this blue ribbon coming from? This is some very old ribbon. I believe it's called Bashful Blue. This is a blue color we had many moons ago, probably 10 years ago. But I had a supply of the ribbon and it went with this quite well. So that's why I used it. So look in your stash. I'm sure you have lots. If not, try to get some of this beautiful paper because it is really nice to work with. So in order to make our bags, you do need 2 pieces of 12 by 12. I know some of you are cringing, 2 pieces of my 12 by 12. But no cringing because the bag's worth it. So I've already scored one of those, but I'm going to score one with you and then we'll do all the cutting and stuff. And I'm trying to set this off the edge of my desk a little bit here. So I did have someone ask my desk because people have asked what this is. This is actually a very old steel case desk. It's massive. Someone joked that you could probably land a plane on it. It's quite large. I think it's like 3 or 4 feet deep and it's about 7 feet long. And I'm not sure when it was built. We suspect it was built somewhere in the 1940s. It was my father's old office desk. So, but it works great for what I'm doing, and I've had this for many years, and I love it. So if I'm stamping or doing something and you hear a tinging sound, that's because we're on a steel case desk, and it has a Formica over the top. So, just an FYI, someone did ask me about that. So, we're going to stamp here, or stamp. We're not doing any stamping today. I'm lost it. I'm going to have another drink of my tea here really quick. Yes, I'm a tea drinker. Hot and cold. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and score this first. So you want to make sure your paper, if there's a right side and a wrong side to your paper, if it's directional, you want to be looking at it so the top of the paper is here and the bottom is down towards you. And the first score lines we are going to make are at 8 and 11 and a half. And I am using my large end of my stylist. We've talked about the large end. Most of the time I do use this, but I'm going to be using the small end today and I'm going to show you why. So what you want to do is turn this one time, 9, and you want it so the score lines are closest to you, and you're going to score at 3 inches. And then you're going to take, and before you score the next one, you're going to take the paper and flip it straight over this way and score at 10. Sorry, just 1 second. 10 and 3. I wrote the wrong measurement down again. 1, 2, it's 10 and a quarter. Excuse me while I write the right measurement down. Mistakes do happen when we do our instructions. Then we're going to flip it back to the original position. We have to make one more score line in this bag. And I use a ruler to do this. You can eyeball it if you want. But I want to make a score line that is going to come down. And you need a longer ruler. You'll discover I have 2 of them out here. I have a 6-inch and a 12-inch. I actually have an 18-inch around here somewhere too. Rulers are important. But what we're going to do is we're going to come down at 9 3/4, which is halfway between our 2 score lines here. And we're going to score down to 7 inches. And that's why I lay this across so I know exactly where I'm going to. Like that. Okay. And then we're done with the scoreboard. Set that aside. But we do have a little more scoring to do. And this is going to be very hard for me to show you on here. Can you see it from the... No, back's just as bad. I'm going to try to show you from the back side. At least with some tick marks. Here is where our little line came down to. Can you see that dot there I put? And then we have this corner here and this corner here. What we're going to do is we're going to score here and here. But we're going to do it from the front of the paper. So that's the only way I could think I'd show you, because everything is so light. And unfortunately, I need to use this bag for a gift. So I don't want to write on the front of the bag. So this time, this is when I really use the small one. Now I'm using this mat, and which has a little bit of give to it. You want to have some cushioning. If you don't have something, a Stampin' Mat is too mushy. You'll go right through your paper. So take some scrap paper. I'm sure all of you have a little pile of scraps that you use to stamp on or stamp off. Grab a stack of paper, 3 or 4 sheets. I just grabbed some typing paper. Put that underneath where you're going to be doing this, just to give you just need ever so slight of give in there, so you don't rip your paper and you get a nice clean crease. Okay, so that's the other way you can do this. So what you need to do, and you're going to excuse my head here, I'm finding my lines here. There's one, there's one. I'm going to line up this here. But this is the time I use the small end of the stylist. And I don't press too hard. Oop. And I went a little over, but it's okay. And I'm going to go back and forth 2 or 3 times. And then this one here. Sorry, my head is going to get in the way a little bit. Find your marks. Even for me, this paper is light, and it's, even for me, a little hard to see the marks. So I've got the marks in. So hopefully that's clear. When we fold this, I think it'll make more sense to you. So let me put my stylist away before I lose it. And grab my bone folder. So we're going to start folding this. This last line we put in the 2 little score lines diagonally, we are not going to do anything with those. We're just going to ignore those for now. So we're going to fold and burnish. Now remember, we flipped this one here at the top, so it's going to fold this way. Sorry, I had to look at something. So, and then we're going to go to this score line here. You notice I'm leaving this folded like that. And like I said, we're going to leave the one that we put down to 7 inches low. Like that. So we've got all of our things burnished except for this one. And we'll come back to that one in just a minute. But usually I just take my fingers. You see I'm doing that? I'm just pressing slightly. I'm not worrying about these lines that much. I'm just giving a little press. You can see it already folding into that thing. You don't want to try to burnish it. It doesn't work very well. At least in my opinion. So let me get the other one folded here. And then of course the top we talked comes down. Don't be afraid, even though it's directional, to turn the paper the direction that works for you when you're doing it, instead of stretching across. Make it your, what's comfortable for you. It's very important that you're comfortable in the area you're working. Wherever you're crafting, you need to be a comfortable place and a comfortable chair. And like that. And then once again, I'm just going to take my fingers. There's the place where it comes down. And I'm just pushing ever so slightly on this. Now this one, I did make a mistake, and I got an extra. I don't know if I pull this up, you can't see it. I misscored there slightly. So it's wanting to go on that other one, but that's okay. We'll just sort of let it go right there. Like I said, don't force it, because it will naturally just move that way. So, cutting. Snips. first off, we're going to make our tab on this side. So we're going to take just a little wedge off here and take this little piece off. Ooh, and cut straight up. And we're going to cut up straight up this one. Cut right to the score lines there. On the top, we need to remove this little teeny tab. It's just way too bulky for the bag, and it sticks out, and wedge that. And that's what's going to look like at this. We got a little piece here. This piece is up, this is down, and this one's flapped over this way. That is the extent of cutting on this bag. So let me set this one aside and grab the other one real quick. Oop. Excuse me, a little froggy this morning. Too many fans. So this one's cut just like the other one. So let me get rid of the scrap paper here. Like I said, there's not a lot of waste or scrap in this. That's it. Find my garbage can. Okay. The first thing we want to do is tape this down. Now, you can use glue on this if you choose. I do really like my glue, but I found putting bags together, some tear and tape really is nice. And I'm going to put 2 pieces on here, one at the very bottom and one here. And if you have, you know, other tear and tape besides this length, you can use it. And we're going to go ahead and, where's my pick at? Okay, we'll use this one. Hey, everybody, get the right one out here. Fold that over, and then I like to take my bone folder and make sure it's nice and tucked down. Oh. So it looks like that now. Got a tab here, 2 pieces. So let me get the next piece down. You do have to go back and forth between the 2 pieces because they have to be both at the same stage when you're attaching them. Okay, so now we have 2 pieces, and it's time to attach the 2 pieces, and they're going to go together like that. So I'm going to run tear and tape across this piece here, and I'm going as not right up to, but very close to the edge here. I'm going to burnish that and make sure there is, sometimes you get air bubbles in there, and I want to make sure I don't have any. I'll get rid of that one. Now, this is where you need to, and this is where my head is unfortunately going to probably get in the camera, and I'm sorry about that. You want to make sure that everybody don't press down until you have both lines, top and bottom, lined up, and the seam. And I like to fold it back over and give it a good press. So that's half the bag. Now you got a very long piece. Now we're going to put this piece together. And I'm going to do it this way. I'm set part of it off. So once again, we're putting tape here. But right along that edge. And you notice I folded this in one here because this, when you fold it, you have to do a little maneuvering, but it should almost perfectly line up like that. So, and then when you start pushing on here, you'll see how these are going to start doing that, even when we have the bottom. But yeah, so that's the framework of our box. Now, it really doesn't matter what is the front or back of this box. So, because you've got seams on both sides because of the side length of, you know, the length of the paper, we're limited. So I decided to make this one the front. So I'm going to just fold that one up. I'm going to put my sides in like this. And like I said, you can use glue or tape. I'm going to go ahead and use some glue now. Now, one thing if you are gluing, this is my front, so I'm going to leave it over. You've got about a ½ inch on this side here. So you need to make sure that you do not go over that with glue right yet, or you might have a mess. And the reason for that is that I needed my box a ½ inch wider than the paper. I was going to go for 3 inches, but when I've actually designed this for a project. I can't say exactly what it is for, but it has to do with Christmas. And so line those up and make sure that you are square. I know we're close here now because I had to move the camera. Now I'm going to flip it over. Sorry, the house phone's ringing. Sorry for that slight intermission there with the phone. And we're going to bring this over. Now we can get the glue on this piece. But remember, don't go all the way. I'm going to put it on here so I don't go. And the other reason I'm using glue, because the glue, even without putting a piece of cardstock or something in the bottom, the glue actually hardens enough that it actually reinforces the box quite nicely. So now we're going to come down and if I'm not showing on this on air, lots of times because I am making a few of these, I will actually just take and throw a few of my stamping blocks into the bottom and let it sit and dry. So if you look, when you push on this, it makes this fold here in your paper just by naturally putting that in there. And of course it won't fold down. If you filled it all the way up and put tissue paper in, it won't fold up, but it does have that nice thing. Now I chose to put handles on mine here, but I've seen other people take bags and just put wrap ribbon and stuff around this section. You can do that as well, but I chose not to on this bag. Now we need to choose a ribbon. I'm going to tell you, I really wanted to use the crinkle seam binding ribbon. I tried one with the crinkle seam binding ribbon. And I'm trying to find mine here. Hang on. The crinkle seam binding ribbon, I love it. It's too flimsy to make a handle out of. I mean, if you took multiple layers, it might work. So I decided not to use the seam binding ribbon. I decided to go with this beautiful ribbon. And this is the, what is it called? Open Weave Ribbon. And this color happens to be Pale Papaya, which you're going to all be screaming, that's not a color in here. It's not. But when I held this up, it really made the yellows in this pop, and I liked it. So that's what we're going to go with. So what you need is, I believe the ribbon's 20 inches, 20 inches, going off camera now, 20 inches, 2 pieces. Okay, and you do need a hole punch of some kind. Hand punch works, crocodile, whatever you happen to have. And what I did was, I want to go in with the hand punch. I'm going to try to show you here. I'm going in as far as I can, and I'm lining up, on mine, I'm lining up about a centimeter. You see this? So it's just inside where the flap comes over. And that's what I'm using as my guide. So it's down and it's about that far away. And that's where I'm punching. So when I come on this side, first I need to make sure that my punch is clear. I'm closing it up. And you can feel where your punch is on this other side with your finger. So you can almost tell that you're in the right spot. So now we have 2 holes. And then we'll do the other side exactly the same way, using, you know, the eyeball method and the punch. So that gave us the 4 holes. And then I debated if to tie this in. And you could do this on the other way too. I wanted my knots to be on the outside. I'm going to flip it this way so you can see. So I just ran from the inside out. And I'm going to take the end as close as I can. And I'm going to tie little knots. About 3 of them is what I determined I needed for my hole punch. Now, if you're using a smaller hole punch, you could use thinner ribbon, and then it might be, you know, substantial. And if you're, nope, we're gonna need 4 with this one. Depending on your ribbon and the hole punch, you're gonna need to determine how many knots you need to make. But I want it to hold. There we go. We'll come back and trim them off. But I'm trying to keep the ribbons. And we're going right to the next one, like that. I'm trying to keep them close to the same size. I know. Look, the lady's tying knots on TV. There's 4. So I thought the knots looked sort of nice on the outside like that. So then we'll do the other side real quick. And then this would be nice to make a little tag to stick on it and stuff. This particular project, I did not need a tag. And fumble fingers, can't tie a knot. I think that was 4. Nope. There, we should be fine. And the last one. Now you could also, make, if you had some cordage, you could use cordage for your handles. You could also put paper handles on if you wanted. You know, make it your own. Look what you've got in your stash. Pull that and see how we did. Not too shabby. So let's clean these up a little bit. Oop. May have short little stubbies, but we don't want them messy. Just remember, when you're picking out your ribbon, you want something that's got a little body to it, that's going to withstand being held. So this is our bag we made today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you give this a try. It's a lot of fun. It's not complicated. It's just some few measurements. And like I said, those will be down below. So please remember to subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.